A little more porridge.
Going to call to order tonight's Muskogee City Council meeting for this April the 25th, the year 2022. Before we get into our agenda items tonight, if you'll stand with us, we will be led in prayer by our Councilman Tracy McGee, followed by the flag salute.
Let us bow our hearts and minds for a moment of prayer. Oh, gracious Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Father, give us understanding that we may be able to take care of the business of the city of Muskogee, lead us in the right direction. We ask you to say thank you for all things. We ask this in your only begotten Son, Yahshua Messiah, whom the world calls Jesus Christ.
Flag
Hallelujah.
salute. Salute. Pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Marlon Coleman, Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Alex Reynolds.
Here.
Stephanie Morgan.
Here.
Tracy McGee. Here. Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Can I entertain a motion to excuse Mayor Marlon Coleman tonight?
Move for approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second to excuse the absence of Mayor Marlon Coleman. All in favor? I'm sorry. Any comments? Any remarks? Roll call.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. All right. We have before us the minutes. I'll take a motion at this time to approve the minutes for the April 11th meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. All right, next is our consent agenda, which is items 1 through 9. If anyone wants to pull one off for discussion on tonight, or either we can have a motion to accept our consent agenda.
Move for approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our consent agenda. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. All right, we're going to our regular agenda for tonight. Item number 10, please.
Consider approval to reject and rebid all bids for removal and disposal of biosolids at the wastewater treatment plant or take other necessary action.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, members of council. This is an item that we put together. We opened bids for the biosolids removal on March 25th. The bids came in higher than what we anticipated, and that was due to quantitative error on staffing part. So we ask that your approval to reject and rebid these this biosolids disposal.
All right. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move for approval.
And I'm sorry, where can you state we're rejecting, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Move for approval to reject.
All right. just-
So, Deputy Mayor, a yes is to reject.
All right. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. We'll go to public comments at this time. I have one that have signed up for public comments, Mr. Cedric Johnson. If you'll take the stand, give us your address, and you'll have 3 minutes to present to us tonight.
Thank you. I am Cedric Johnson, and I live at 316 North 27th in Muskogee. And the neighbors have asked me to address an issue that we are concerned about, and that is the location of 2708 Court Street, which we believe to be a halfway house. Now, we're not against people seeking help when they need it, but we are highly concerned that that nobody in the neighborhood was consulted on this. And we think it's a zoning issue. And of course, we're concerned about our health and safety, and especially the kids in that area. So that's the gist of the thing. We're just concerned about not being consulted because we believe that to be a zoning issue. And like I said, we are not against people who are wanting help. Matter of fact, you may not know so, but I am a charter member of the Monarch Drug and Rehab for Women here in Muskogee. I was a charter member, probably the last living charter member of that group. So anytime that a person is wanting help, I am definitely in favor of helping them to get all the help they need. But again, the neighbors are highly concerned that they were not consulted. We have little kids running loose around there. And so we are concerned about our health and especially our safety. And so any help that you can give us on this, any explanation, we await your explanation as to why we were not consulted on that. And I know it's a zoning, and there are lots of areas that you can do when it comes to zoning. And I have been in on those zoning fights before. So I know what I have a pretty good idea that there are options. And as I said, we'll await your comments on this. So that's about all I have at the moment. And I hope I didn't break this, because I certainly can't pay for it. I'll have to put that to Roy.
We thought you was gonna sing.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Johnson.
Huh?
We thought you was gonna sing.
No.
We'll go into our next item number 11.
Now, we had a guy who played with on TV. He wants to give me voice lessons. And of course, I turned him down.
Item number 11, please.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. Pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 57, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 95, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. C, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. D, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of Lisa Schnornick, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. E, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss 4 lawsuits styled England versus City of Muskogee, case number CV 200720, Lacey versus City of Muskogee, case number CV 20071377, Taft versus City of Muskogee, case number CJ 20071410, Vaughn versus City of Muskogee, case number CJ 20071371, filed in the District Court in and for Muskogee County, Oklahoma, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
We have one citizen that have signed up to speak concerning item number E, so we will call him to the stand. Then thereafter, we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. We have signed up to speak on item number E is Mr. Mark Hughes. If you'll come to the podium, you'll have 5 minutes to discuss your item, and please state your name and address.
I have some documents to hand out. May I do that?
Yes.
The first document you'll see is it's a one-page document. It's a state law that says, and it's highlighted in yellow for you, that says, even though you weren't an original party to a lawsuit, if you take over from somebody who's died or resigned and you are now a new member of the council like Shirley is, you assume everything that that previous city councilor assumed, which means that you are now responsible for the lawsuit. And I don't agree with the law, but that's what it says. But I wanted everybody on the council to be aware of that. And then secondly, in 2017, in Ivy versus City of Muskogee, the Oklahoma Civil Court of Appeals ruled that the city violated her due process rights and that they did not comply with state statute 1122-112. If that sounds familiar, because it's the same thing that the same Civil Court of Appeal ruled in Vaughn. However, when the Ivy case came down, it took more than 3.5 years for the city to comply with fixing their records, fixing their letters, so it would actually comply with 1122-112. And nothing happened until a group of concerned citizens, myself, Darwin England, Phoenicia Chavez, and Wilma Newton, had a meeting with Roy Tucker and Mayor Coleman. And we approached this. And you'll see the letter from us and the response from Mr. Tucker. But in those 3.5 years, almost 200 houses were torn down. That's 200 more inverse condemnation lawsuits. That's 200 more civil rights lawsuits. So my question is, what the heck happened? Already, just from the 6% interest for all 4 of those inverse condemnation cases, the city is going to owe $31,899,231. The city could have put the $7.9 million commissioner's award for all 4 cases in an interest-bearing account and immediately stopped the interest rate from accumulating. For some strange, inexplicable reason, the city never did that. I guess they feel that if it's not the city council's personal money, then the city taxpayers can pay for it and they don't have any problem with it. I'm really irritated that you all were so short-sighted that you're going to cost us more money because you ignored the law or else got bad advice. Shame on you. Shame on you. You're wasting our property money. And the only way, according to the county assessor, that this interest can be paid for is of raising property taxes or taking out a bond. And both of them have to be approved by the city taxpayers. And I hope they deny both of them, because you all deserve it. You've ignored the law from the very beginning. Even when Darwin England for 20 years has been coming up telling you guys what's right and what's wrong. And I've been before you many times. You've laughed at us behind our backs, and you ignored us. And now you're going to pay for it at our expense. Shame on you.
This time we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go into executive session. Any discussion? Roll call.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Tracy McGee,
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan,
Yes.
Alex Reynolds,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Ivory Van,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. You'll excuse us. We're going to executive session.
Tomorrow at noon.
Want to welcome you back to tonight's Muskogee City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Alex Reynolds.
Here.
Stephanie Morgan.
Here.
Tracy McGee.
Here.
Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Mr. Tucker?
Item 11A, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss ongoing negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 57. After being briefed on the status of those negotiations, I think an appropriate motion would be to authorize the city's negotiation strategy and conveyance of an offer as discussed in executive session.
Do we have a motion?
Move for approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Any discussion? Roll call.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. That item passes. Next item.
Item B, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 95. After being briefed on the status of those negotiations, an appropriate motion would be to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Muskogee and the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge Number 95 for fiscal year 2023.
Council.
Move for approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item B passes. Item C.
Pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss ongoing negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465. After being briefed on the status of negotiations, no action is necessary at this time. Item D, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the City Council did convene an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of Lisa Shornick. After being briefed on the status of that claim, I think an appropriate motion would be to authorize the city attorney to settle the workers' compensation claim of Lisa Shornick within the amount discussed in executive session.
Council.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number D passes. Item E.
Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the City Council convened an executive session to discuss 4 lawsuits styled England versus City of Muskogee, Lacey versus City of Muskogee, Taft versus City of Muskogee, and Vaughn versus City of Muskogee. After being briefed on the status of that ongoing litigation, no action is necessary at this time. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. That concludes tonight's meeting. We are adjourned.